Welcome back, deep divers. Ready to unlock some serious life upgrades? Today, we're diving deep into Rhonda Byrne's The Power. Get ready to get magnetic.
I'm excited to break it down. We're taking that law of attraction goodness from The Secret and amplifying it with love and gratitude.
Love it. And no worries if you haven't read The Secret. We've got you covered. So lay it on us. What's the big takeaway from The Power? What's Byrne really driving at?
Well, she's making a pretty bold claim. Love isn't just some fleeting emotion. It's like the most powerful force in the universe driving everything.
Okay, so bigger than just manifesting a soulmate or a dream job. We're talking like cosmic love shaping reality.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting, say. Byrne connects it directly to the law of attraction. What we focus on, we attract. Right. But it's not just about thinking positively. It's about feeling it, like deep down.
So it's not enough to just like slap on a happy face and hope for the best.
Nope. Byrne uses this great analogy of a glass of water. If your glass is empty, that's like negative feelings, you don't fix it by ignoring the emptiness. You fill it up. You fill it with love, and that overflows into your world.
Okay, I like that. So how does this actually work in our lives? Byrne says love can bring us everything: health, wealth, relationships, the works. Any real-life examples in the book?
Oh, tons. There's this one story about a woman stuck in a horrible marriage, struggling financially. Most people would just spiral, right? But this woman, she focused all her energy on feeling love for the life she wanted.
No way. What did she do?
She started visualizing her dream life. Like, she actually bought a passport and stuff for a European trip, even though she couldn't afford it at the time.
Wow. So she was acting as if her dream was already happening?
Exactly. And guess what? She eventually creates this whole new life for herself in Spain with a loving partner and all. It's a pretty powerful example.
That's amazing. So focusing on love is key. But Byrne says it goes beyond just thinking positive thoughts, right? It's about tapping into our feelings. She even calls it an emotional compass. What's that all about?
It's like our internal guidance system. Feeling joyful, passionate, grateful, good sign. You're aligned with love and attracting more of that. But feeling down, resentful, afraid, that's your cue to course correct.
Like a hot and cold game, but instead of finding a hidden object, we're finding our best lives.
Mm.
How do we make those course corrections? How do we shift from fear and doubt to feeling the love?
Well, that's where Byrne introduces her creation process, a 3-step blueprint for manifestation.
Ooh, I love a good blueprint.
Yeah.
Break it down for us.
First, you have to vividly imagine what you desire, like you already have it. Then, and this is key, you infuse that vision with genuine, heartfelt emotion.
So we're not just thinking it, we're feeling it like it's real.
Yes. It's about aligning your energy with your desire. And lastly, you surrender, trusting that the universe has your back and will deliver in perfect timing.
Imagine it, feel it, receive it. Got it.
Yeah.
But does Byrne give any examples of this in action?
Oh, yeah. There's this story about a woman who really, really wanted a white calla lily. Like, she connected with the beauty of this flower on a deep level.
She wasn't just scrolling through flower pics online, she was feeling it, right?
Right, totally. She'd imagine the flower, its petals, even its fragrance. And get this, within a few days, she receives a bouquet of white calla lilies as a gift.
Whoa, okay, that's wide. So we've got the power of love, the importance of really feeling it, and this 3-step creation process. But there's another biggie Byrne keeps coming back to: gratitude.
Yes. Gratitude is huge. It's like this super-powered expression of love, not just attracting the good, but multiplying it.
It's like that saying, what you appreciate appreciates. But is there any real weight behind that?
Byrne talks about the universal law of increase. What you focus on expands. Gratitude is like a lens that magnifies everything good. She even talks about Einstein. He attributed his genius to practicing gratitude like over 100 times a day.
Einstein, the gratitude guru. Who knew? Okay, loving these practical tips, but we're just scratching the surface of the power, right?
Yeah.
What else does Byrne explore?
Well, she dives into this fascinating concept of synchronicity, those seemingly random events that she believes hold way more meaning.
You mean like when you think of someone and they call you out of the blue?
Exactly. Or you stumble upon some information at the perfect time. Byrne's all about paying attention to these coincidences, seeing them as messages.
Okay, so it's like the universe is leaving us little clues, trying to point us in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. It's about being more aware, more tuned in to those subtle nudges. Byrne says to look for patterns, things that keep popping up.
So instead of just brushing things off as coincidence, we got to stop and ask ourselves, wait a minute, what's the message here?
Exactly. And Those messages, they're not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, right? Sometimes they come in the form of challenges, setbacks that kind of force us to take a look at our beliefs, maybe make a change.
Right, right. When the student is ready, the teacher appears, or the universe sends a curveball our way.
Exactly. It's about being open to the unexpected, trusting that even those negative experiences, they often hold these valuable lessons, maybe even redirect us onto a better path.
I'm getting serious trust the journey vibes here. I love it. But does Byrne only talk about these, like, big life-changing synchronicities? Or does she get into finding the magic in the everyday stuff, too?
She's all about finding joy and gratitude in the present moment, even in those small, seemingly insignificant moments.
So it's not just about waiting for those big aha moments,
Mhm.
but appreciating those little things.
Exactly. She wants us to really savor those simple pleasures, a good cup of coffee, a beautiful sunset, a meaningful conversation. It's about shifting that mindset from scarcity to abundance, realizing there's magic all around us.
Love that. But how do we actually, make that happen? Life gets busy, and it's easy to get caught up in the chaos.
Totally. Yeah. Byrne actually gives some really practical tips. One thing she recommends is starting a gratitude journal, where you jot down a few things you're thankful for each day. Another one is mindfulness meditation, even if it's just for a few minutes.
Okay, so taking time to appreciate the good stuff, I'm on board with that.
Mm.
But, one thing we haven't really touched on yet is our relationship with ourselves. Does Byrne address that in The Power?
Oh, absolutely. She's all about self-love. She actually says it's the foundation, like the fertile ground for all other love.
Okay, so how do we cultivate more self-love?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's something a lot of people struggle with.
For sure. One thing she talks about is speaking to ourselves more kindly, Like, imagine you're talking to a good friend.
Hmm.
You wouldn't be so harsh, right?
So less inner critic, more inner cheerleader.
Exactly. It's about recognizing we are worthy of love and acceptance just as we are. Byrne also says to celebrate our accomplishments, even the little ones.
Love it. Recognize her own awesomeness.
Mm.
But speaking of awesome, Byrne doesn't shy away from some of the more, shall we say, mystical stuff either, right? Like,
Yeah.
she talks about this whole invisible realm and how it influences our reality.
She does. That's where she brings in the world of quantum physics, the idea that there are all these infinite possibilities existing out there right now.
So less about what we see with our physical eyes and more about tapping into this unseen energy field. That's where things start to get a little trippy for me.
I hear you. But honestly, she does such a good job of explaining these really complex concepts in a way that just makes sense. She talks about our thoughts and feelings being like magnets, drawing in similar experiences.
So if we're vibrating at a frequency of fear and lack, we're going to attract more of that.
Exactly. But when we focus on love, abundance, gratitude, that's when we open ourselves up to a whole new world of possibilities. She believes we have way more power to shape our reality than we think.
Like upgrading our energy operating system. Okay, but how do we know what we're attracting? Any signs or signals we can look out for?
Burns says to pay close attention to our emotions. They're like that internal compass, pointing us towards what feels good, what feels aligned.
So if something feels expansive, exciting, that's a good sign.
Exactly. Green light. But if it feels heavy, draining, probably a sign to pause and reevaluate.
Got it. So we're tuning into our emotions like never before. But it's not all about manifesting material things or experiences, right? What about love in our relationships? Does Byrne talk about that?
Oh, definitely. A good chunk of the power is about how love can transform our relationships. She says giving love, that's the foundation for creating those truly healthy, fulfilling connections.
So it's not just about finding that perfect partner or having that Instagram-worthy family. It's about showing up with love in all our interactions.
Exactly. There's a story about this woman who actually saved her marriage by changing her focus. Instead of dwelling on her husband's flaws, she really made an effort to appreciate his good qualities, to feel love for him.
Wow. So she changed her internal world, and that actually impacted their relationship.
Totally. And eventually, her husband started mirroring those loving feelings back. Burns says we actually teach others how to treat us by the way we treat ourselves. So if we're coming from a place of love and self-respect, we're much more likely to attract people who do the same.
I love that. But relationships are tough, right?
Yeah.
Do things always go smoothly?
Oh, for sure not. Brand acknowledges that, conflict is going to happen. It's natural. But she encourages us to approach those challenges from a place of love and understanding.
So instead of meeting anger with anger, we try to approach it with more compassion.
Exactly. We've got to remember that everyone's on their own journey. Sometimes those journeys, well, they get a little bumpy. Byrne also talks about setting healthy boundaries in our relationships, that it's okay to say no sometimes.
Right, so honoring our own needs.
Yeah. She's really big on that true love respects boundaries. It's not about trying to change someone, it's about accepting them for who they are.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
But what about relationships that just aren't working anymore? Those ones that just drain you, feel unhealthy?
Byrne's pretty clear on this. Sometimes we have to let go of relationships that no longer serve us, even if it's really painful.
Wow, so sometimes love means saying goodbye.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah,
But even then, she says to approach it with as much love and compassion as you can for yourself and the other person.
that's such a powerful message. We can choose love, even when it's hard. Okay, so we've covered relationships, but Byrne doesn't stop there, does she? What about the power of love to impact our health?
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole section on the mind-body connection and how our thoughts and emotions impact our physical well-being.
So it's not just about slapping on a happy face and hoping for a clean bill of health.
No, not at all. She's talking about the very real impact our beliefs and emotions have on our bodies. There are actual scientific studies that show how stress, anxiety, negative thinking, it actually weakens our immune system, makes us more likely to get sick.
Okay, yeah, when I'm stressed, I definitely get sick more easily. But what about really serious health challenges? Does Byrne actually believe our thoughts can heal us?
She presents some pretty radical ideas about the body's ability to heal itself, yeah. Like, she talks about the placebo effect. People experience real improvements simply because they believe they're getting an effective treatment.
Wow, so the power of belief is real. Our minds are that powerful.
That's what she's saying. Our bodies are constantly trying to find balance, to heal, and our thoughts can either help or hinder that process.
So if we're constantly feeding ourselves negative thoughts, fears about our health, we're basically sending our bodies the opposite of a get well card.
Pretty much, yeah. But she also offers a lot of hope. She believes that by shifting those thoughts and feelings toward love, gratitude, believing in our body's ability to heal, we create this inner environment that's much more conducive to healing.
So it's not about ignoring illness, it's about approaching it from a place of empowerment and self-love.
Exactly.
But that's got to be tough. How do we actually do that, especially when facing something scary, like a serious diagnosis?
Well, she suggests a few things. Visualization is a big one. So imagining your body as strong, healthy, vibrant. Affirmations are another tool where you repeat positive statements about your health. Things like, my body is strong and healthy, things like that.
Okay, so we're retraining our brains, focusing on what we want to experience instead of dwelling on the what-ifs and the fear.
Exactly. Shifting from that mindset of fear to one of faith, trusting that our body knows how to heal.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
Mhm.
But Byrne doesn't just focus on physical health, does she? What about our financial well-being?
She goes there too. There's a whole chapter dedicated to the relationship between our thoughts, feelings, and money.
Okay, so it's not just about working hard and making smart investments. There's an energetic side to it, too.
According to Byrne, absolutely. She believes those subconscious beliefs we have about money play a huge role in our financial reality.
So if we grew up with those limiting beliefs, things like money doesn't grow on trees or rich people are greedy, those beliefs could actually be holding us back.
That's exactly what she's saying, yeah. Those beliefs, they create an energetic block that stops us from attracting the abundance we want. She says we have to examine our beliefs about money and challenge those negative thoughts.
We got to upgrade that money mindset. But how do we do that?
She has a bunch of techniques like affirmations, visualization, and of course, gratitude. She suggests maybe starting a gratitude journal where you specifically write down things you're grateful for that are related to money.
So even if we're not exactly rolling in dough, we can still find things to appreciate, like having a roof over our heads, food on the table.
Exactly. It's about shifting that perspective from lack to abundance, realizing that there is always enough to go around.
I love it. But it's not just about attracting more money for the sake of it, right?
Yeah.
Does Byrne talk about the purpose behind it? What we're ultimately trying to create with that abundance?
Oh, she does. She makes it clear that money is a tool, it's neutral, it's about what we do with it that matters. She encourages us to align our financial goals with our values, actually using our resources to make a difference.
So it's about fueling our passions,
Yeah.
supporting causes we care about, creating a life that feels truly meaningful.
Exactly. Real abundance, it goes so much deeper than just material wealth, right? It's about living a life that feels fulfilling and aligned.
I'm so inspired, but I have to admit, this is a lot to take in. Where do we even begin to apply all of this to our own lives?
Well, that's the beauty of Byrne's work. She gives us all these practical tools, techniques that anybody can use, no matter where they're starting from.
So it's not about like flipping a switch and suddenly our lives are perfect. It's about those small, consistent actions, right?
Yeah, exactly. Even those tiny shifts in our thoughts and feelings, they can create these huge ripple effects in our lives. She talks about it like planting seeds. We might not see the results right away, but with enough care and attention, those seeds, they'll blossom.
I love that analogy. But, what about those times when that doubt creeps in, when we're surrounded by negativity or facing those tough challenges, life stuff? How do we stay positive then?
Well, Byrne's a big believer in mindfulness, being aware of those thoughts when they pop up and gently redirecting them.
Okay, so less on autopilot, more conscious choices.
Yeah. And she has this cool technique where you pick a secret symbol, something you really love, something that represents love and positivity for you. And whenever you see it throughout your day, it's like this little reminder to shift your focus back to gratitude and love.
Oh, I love that. It's like a little reset button for your brain.
Mhm.
I think I'm going to pick a ladybug. They're so cute. Every time I see one, it'll be like a little wink from the universe. Have you ever tried that?
I have. I actually find that writing down a few things I'm grateful for every morning really helps. It's like setting the tone for the day, training my mind to look for the good even when things are tough.
I like that. Byrne also talks about actively engaging with the universe, asking for what we want, looking for guidance. It's like we're not just passively hoping, we're co-creating.
Right. We step into our power.
But what happens when we don't get an answer right away? Or we're just not sure how to interpret the signs?
Well, Burns says those answers, they often show up in unexpected ways. It's not always this big booming voice, right? It might be a subtle feeling, a knowing, even a song on the radio that really resonates with you.
It's about trusting your gut, that inner wisdom. Have you had any experiences where the guidance showed up in some unusual way?
Oh, totally. Once I was trying to make a really tough decision and I felt so stuck. And then randomly I overheard these two people talking on the bus and it was like eerily connected to my situation. It was wild.
No way. Like the universe planted those people on your bus for a reason.
I know, right? It's those moments that remind me that we are so not alone. There's something bigger out there guiding us, supporting us.
Okay, I have chills. But even with all this talk of mystical signs and cosmic guidance, Byrne also keeps it real, right? She shares about how she uses this stuff in her own life.
Oh, absolutely. She's super open about her own journey. Like she talks about how she visualizes her whole day going smoothly before she even gets out of bed.
That's a good one, setting the tone for the day. Have you ever tried that?
Totally. It's amazing how much calmer I feel when I do that.
Byrne also talks about, like, sending love to everyone she encounters, even strangers. It seems kind of out there, but also really powerful.
Right. It's such a good reminder that our energy really does impact the world. Even something as small as a smile, it can totally change someone's day.
It's about spreading that love,
Mhm.
knowing that it creates these ripple effects. So what really resonated with you about this idea of choosing love, even when things are tough?
For me, it's about remembering that our power isn't about controlling everything out there. It's about mastering our inner world, cultivating that peace, the love, the joy, no matter what's going on around us.
It's a powerful message, and it's really hopeful too. We have access to that love, that support, no matter what we're facing.
It really is. And honestly, that's the heart of the power for me. We're not alone. We're all in this together, and love is the most powerful force out there.
We're not just passengers in life. We are powerful creators, and we get to shape our reality with every thought, feeling, and action.
So well said. And even though we can't always control what happens to us, we always have a choice in how we respond.
And that's where we find our power. So, deep divers, as we wrap up this exploration of Rhonda Byrne's The Power, what will you do differently starting today? How will you harness the power of love and gratitude in your own life? Think about it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep those good vibes flowing, and we'll see you next time.